Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The old captain coming to you live from Crooked Creek. It's Wednesday, I believe. It's about 1:50 in the afternoon. Max and I are doing something a little different today. We're aboard one of my two kayaks. I've got two that are identical, and I have shared this before. It's kind of like being in a smart car. This thing's 10 feet long, and it only weighs less than 50 pounds, but it's supposed to be able to carry 300. So we're up here we're calling it the shrimp boat. We're in the shrimp boat. Max is up in the bow. I believe that he would get on a log if I got on it, but he's kind of settled in up there on his cushion. You can see we just saw a heron right in front of us. Is a mallard, a drake, a male mallard, and we're kind of paddling toward it. I don't know what it's going to do, but Max doesn't care for birds, so he just saw another heron. But I just thought you might want to go along with us for a little while. We've never done a video from this craft before, but what it is, it's a 10-foot old town vapor angler. 10-foot old town vapor angler. And one thing I noticed real quick is that it takes different muscles when you're using a kayak paddle as opposed to using a paddle for a canoe. It's a whole different motion, and I'm sure I'll know more about that in the morning after I've slept through the night. I'll be aching in places I'm not familiar with aching. But anyway, I'm gonna pull I've got the camera on a board right behind Max, and I got a hole drilled in it and a threaded 1/4-inch rod sticking vertical, and that way I'm hands-free and it's close enough where you can hear my voice and you can see what's going on. So I'm going to show you exactly how this thing is set up, and then I'm going to show you where Max is. I think the word is precarious. He's in a spot that not everybody would get. But like I say, I believe if I were to get on a log, that he would crawl out on the end of it. That's how loyal and how trusting he is. But I'm gonna pull the camera up just a second, as soon as I get up into the creek a little bit, and let you see exactly how the board is situated. And it's just kind of rigged for right now, but just kind of checking things out here. But never been up the creek in a kayak before. Been up there a million times in the 17-foot carp shark, which is my first love. But like I said, I bought these mainly for guests and for my grandboys to enjoy. So it's just going to take a little bit of getting used to, and we're going to get on up here in just a second. It's kind of shallow through here, so let me get off the sandbar. Reaching my hands down on the bottom and pushing us off. I think we're back in business now. For just a minute, I'm going to pull the camera up and let you see what's happening. I've had several replies concerning my little videos. And folks, I just love doing these, and my hope is that, folks that I know we got children that watch them, and I know there's folks that aren't able to get out and do stuff, and sometimes it's just a good change of pace, or they can kind of go on an adventure vicariously through our trips and stuff. And if it brings the least bit of enjoyment to anybody, it's certainly worth it to me. And Max is certainly a good sport. He's usually game for most anything. But we are pretty much in the creek now, as you can see. I'm gonna leave the camera on the threaded rod. I don't know if I'll let you see that in a minute. I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm gonna leave it on the threaded rod just for a second. Hope I don't throw it in the water. But anyway, I've got it strapped down on this board and just clamped for right now. But Max is sitting right there in the front on that little cooler. And this thing is tiny, as you can see. There's not a whole lot of room, but it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put this right back in the hole, and I'm gonna turn around. This thing will turn on a dime, give you 9-cent change. You can already see a lot of pollen. There's pollen in the water, so folks, spring is coming. There's no two ways about it. So excited about that, excited about the time change, the longer days and that sort of thing. But anyway, we're gonna go on up here a little bit, and I'm gonna cut it off, and then I'm gonna cut it back on at least one more time, and maybe right before we get back to the house. But either way, thank you for joining us. I hope things are going well with you today, and as always, I wish God's blessings and hope you have a great day. All right, folks, we've gone up creek just a little bit, but I don't know how far. You never know from one trip to the next how far you can get up the creek. You know, the rain and water changes and trees fall and that sort of thing. But I did want you to see Hampton's Hill. That's Hampton's Hill to the left. That's named after Philip Hampton, my buddy at church, and we fished at the base of that hill a couple of times, or at least once, and plan on doing it again. But just wanted you to see that. And in just a few minutes, we're going to slide along kind of quiet. And if you look close, you may see a turtle easing back in the water. You know, being cold-blooded, they crawl out on a limb or a log and bask in the sun a little bit, warm up. There's a good bit of wood ducks on the creek, so occasionally we'll flush a wood duck. I mentioned earlier that duck was a mallard. After it flew off, I'm not so convinced that it was a mallard. It may have been some other kind. But anyway, things look fairly open up through here, and I'm glad to see that. So we're gonna shut up for a few minutes and just let you enjoy the ride. And up on the sandbar, just had to back up a little bit and come around. The creek has changed so much in places where the channel used to be, just not there anymore. hoping that we can get all the way down to the old bridge. So far so good. It's really opened up, really nice. So as you can see, Max is taking it all in. He's such a good sport. Okay, we're going to close it off again. Don't want to spend too much time. It takes forever to download one. So we're going to stop it again, and hopefully we can get up to the old bridge so you can see it before we sign off. Well, folks, I tried to get through. I've looked around. I've tried to go around. But it looks like we've got another blockage here, and still a little too cool. I think even without some chainsaws, I think a couple of guys could get out of into the water and pull some of these limbs around, particularly on this side, and maybe free it up. I see the old telephone pole that's been up and down the creek several times, and it continues to be a nemesis. But if I can get around here where you can see it. But right over in that area, you see things kind of wedged in, but it looks worse than it is, because I think with a little pulling back and forth, we could probably free that up. But in light of back to my recent umbilical surgery, I probably don't even need to be doing what I'm doing, but I certainly don't need to be out pulling on logs quite yet. But anyway, with that being said, it looks like this is going to be the end of the road today, but I believe we can pull some of this stuff out right in through here in front of Max and open this back up. But that'll be another day and another adventure, I'm sure. But anyway, we appreciate you going with us, and got a beautiful day. It's probably close to 70. Got on shorts, t-shirt, barefooted, so can't be too cold. And you can see everything's starting to turn green. And I'll pull the camera up one more time and let you see some of the trees are got some yellow flowers and some leaves and stuff starting to bud out, and that's where the pollen's coming from. Max is hanging in there in the front, and we're gonna sign off and turn around and get on back to the house. And in the meantime, y'all have a good day, and come see us when you get a chance here on Crooked Creek.